So it's 1964. The Attorney General is desperate, and it's time for the Attorney General's office to try the psychic game.
Great.
Enter Peter Hurkos, a famous Dutch mystic who is reportedly responsible for the solving of 27 murders in 17 countries, in addition to helping Scotland Yard find the stolen Stone of Scone, a Scottish national...
Which is finally, the scientists finally got a hold of the stone, and it turned out to just be an old scone.
Isn't that something? So you're a detective. You go through school. You go through years and years of training. You work the beat. And then the next thing you know, they call up a psychic,
a tiny German man who comes in and says, "Excuse me, please, do not push me. My turban is only sitting at the very tip of my head."
Right.
Yeah, the cops hated
They
this
must, yeah, because
guy.
it's like, how'd you get here? Oh, hard work and a lot of long hours. How'd
I had
you get
a
here?
dream about a man with a yellow umbrella.
Okay, well, I guess he's one of us now, so bring him on to the squad.
So Hurkos' area of expertise in the paranormal was psychometry. Now, psychometry is the act of divining facts about an object or its owner by touching or being near the object.
Like if a blanket you have smells like bologna, you know that Ed Larson fucking had it.
Ed Larson from the Round Table of Gentlemen and the Brighter Side podcast as well.
Now, Hurkos' origin story was that he had originally been a house painter in Holland, but in 1943, he fell off a ladder.
I was literally going to make the joke.
He fell off a ladder. That is a painter's death.
He fell off a ladder, fractured his skull, laid in a coma for 3 days, and when he woke up, he had psychic powers.
Isn't that something?
Hello, Nurse Gunkel. I'm so glad you came into the room. What are you thinking about? There's butterscotch candies. Ooh, I see it. Yellow this. Man with a yellow umbrella.
So Hurkos never traveled anywhere without his trusty bodyguard, and Hurkos showed up in Boston with a 6'8" man in a gigantic cowboy hat, yellow cowboy boots, yellow pants, and a yellow fringed leather shirt.
Did he have a pet monkey? Because
can we? So nowhere in this do I see the quotation marks around bodyguard. I think there should be quotation marks around.
He did carry a big gun with him everywhere he went.
Right.
And as for Hurkos, he was heavy-set, 6 feet tall, curly black hair, and darting black eyes.
This is what I want to talk about in modern media. Everybody makes the psychic like this thin rail, like sexy dude. They always look like me. I'm the psychic.
I agree. Yeah, no one will disagree with that statement, Henry. You have a psychic's body.
My mind is important.
So Hurkos and police officers met in a hotel downtown. One detective brought boxes containing the nylon scarves, the nylon stockings, scarves, and blouses used on the Strangler's victims in one box, and 300 photos of the crime scenes in the other.
This one is ugly. I don't like this one. This one. Oh, I smell fat girl on it. Was one of them fat?
Yes.
So officer removed the photos from the box, placed them carefully in stacks, laying face down on the bed. Peter bent over the photos, moved
Slowly bend, please.
Oof. Ooh, what you got? 2 pumpkins sitting back there? Ooh. I can't believe I came all the way to Germany just to see, the 2 finest Bavarian hams I've seen all week. Anyways, let's get to the scars.
I kind of like him around the office, to be honest, because he does point out my great ass.
He moved his right hand palm down in quick circles above the stacks.
I mean,
What? Excuse me?
What? He was Dutch. He was Dutch. His hand slammed down on one stack, and he shouted,
"This phony baloney! This not belong!"
This phony baloney.
He was very excitable. As a control set, the detective had placed photos from a completely unrelated case, and Peter had sniffed them out immediately. He turned back.
Literally sniffed them out.
He turned back to his work and slammed his hand down again on another stack and said,
"This top one, show dead woman, legs apart. I see her. One hands up, one down. Funny way. Here, I show you. It's like this."
He got on the floor, rolled on his back, spread his legs, crooked one knee, put one arm up, one down, turned his face sideways with a slight grimace on his face and said,
"That woman is like this. Oof, and he's raping me.
The photograph was of Beverly Saman, who was in the exact position that Peter now lay on the floor. And he did the position before seeing the photo.
Okay.
Oh, very good.
He continued.
Okay, give me stockings.
He rubbed the stockings, scarves, and blouses of the dead woman.
Ooh, I feel as a man who killed. I see him. He not too big. 5 feet 7, 8. He weigh 130 or 40 pounds. Spitzy nose. Something's wrong with his thumb. No feeling. Bad skin. Something. He have scar on left arm. I see man. He come from hospital. Got a little Asian.
Yeah, I got a little Asian. We're definitely teetering into...
I see man. He come from hospital. Then down the basement. He was stick. He use stick first to switch around the room and break curtains. Then he put stick in vagina and he masturbate. I'm not sure she dead yet.
So he just described every Italian man in Boston.
Well, the problem is
5'8",
anybody
bad skin.
Anybody who's like, you see open vagina and you just kind of want to play with it like a stick, like it's a dead frog.
Oh, sure. Yeah, that's how people play with those.
No, I see masturbation. Sperm on the blanket.
What was that on the blanket?
Sperm.
Whoa, I'm sorry.
It's a sperm. It's a tiny tadpoles. It's in the milk that comes out of your pee-pee thing.
Yeah, sperm. Yeah.
Man violent. I see bandages. He have pain in head. He hear things. He put bandages on head for pain. Give me towel, I show you.
After procuring a towel, Peter tied it tightly around his head and said,
This is what he do!
He threw himself to the floor and thrashed about, flailing his arms, crying in a piercing voice.
This is what I see so clear.
That's after he got back to his feet.
He love shoes. He love shoes.
When asked why he loved shoes, Peter said,
I don't know. Maybe he masturbates in shoes. He wash hands in toilet. Never take baths. Always wash hands in toilet. I see priest. No. He's not priest. He doctor from hospital. Oh, no, not doctor. He look like priest. He dress like priest.
Continue.
He speak French. English. I hear French accent. He talk like girl. He like this. God damn. This is no good son of a bitch. He's a pervert.
And Peter's wrist went limp as he imitated an obvious homosexual.
He's gay.
And you should know.
And they bring the noodles to me, and I shuck the noodles like they're a bunch of dicks.
I see. I mean, immediately following every time this man goes on one of his rampages, he has to be like, do you think they bought that bullshit?
Also, he's just dumping down Gatorade down his throat as he does the full act. That's a great psychic act, though.
Right. Oh, yeah, absolutely.
All right. So remember in the first episode with Mr. Gordon, the Lispy psychic, the Lispy local psychic, he fingered Arnold Wallace for the crimes.
I bet he did.
Yeah.
And Arnold Wallace was actually a very good suspect for the crimes. And remember,
Arnold Wallace, of course, he had the low IQ. He's the one who escaped, although was sort of allowed to leave the mental facilities.
Killed his mother, all that type of shit. Yeah. He is an extremely good suspect for the older ladies. The younger ladies, however, might be the work of one Thomas O'Brien. Not his real name, but Thomas O'Brien. The officers, they handed Peter a note, a letter written by a man, because they're looking into the hospital connection. The hospital connection is still very much at the forefront of the BPD's minds, because if you'll remember, there are a ton of hospital connections in a lot of these cases. So he gave Peter, Mr. Herkos, the letter written by this guy. Very bizarre letter. It was written to the Boston School of Nursing, and it was pretty much just asking them if they had a dating service for him to meet a nurse he could marry.
Cool.
I mean, this man was way ahead of his time.
It's all about, because he could have started nursedate.com if he was if this was during the Silicon Valley bubble.
If there isn't a nursedate.com, which I don't believe that there currently is, please get one.
I'll do that. I'd love to look on that.
Yeah, nurses are wonderful people with big hearts who do nothing but take care of your parents after you don't want to talk to them anymore.
Yeah, he said in the letter, my reason for writing now is to say that I am a bachelor, and for some long time I've wanted to meet a good Catholic nurse who might have graduated from nursing school about 1950. Perhaps while interviewing, I might see a nurse who might like me as much as I'd like her, and if so, we could begin a friendship that might lead to an affair. I'd be glad to call at the office to see you about this if you wish. At any rate, may I hear from you? If you'd like to, you could call Dr. Richard S.H. Wright of 1190 Beacon Street in Brookline. He has known me for many years. With every best wish, I am sincerely Thomas P. O'Brien.
I hate to say this, Barbara, but do you notice that the envelope seems to be stuck together with like a funny kind of glue?
Like a glue?
There's like a funny glue.
Does it smell like
there.
glue?
No, it smells like ammonia and peaches?
So Peter,
Oh, that's straight up. Come on there.
That is no, I smelled that before. Herb before he passed. Yeah, that
He
smells like his
he used to
underwear.
make that glue.
Yeah.
so Peter grabbed the letter, crumpled it up in his hand, and said,
By God, son of a bitch, he do it. This is Ivan. He is the murderer.
Oh, he's just looking for love. I have sympathy for this poor lonely bastard.
well, let's look into Thomas O'Brien just a little bit. He was a man in his 50s with a history of mental illness. He had briefly been in the monastic order, that's the priest connection, in which many of the priests spoke with a French accent.
Okay.
He had also worked as a door-to-door salesman selling women's shoes to nurses.
Holy shit.
It's like if you say a bunch of really vague statements, they all come
match.
true.
I mean, you think about it.
Priest, France, shoes, he masturbating shoes.
I'm just kidding. Yeah, no, he's dead on.
So they eventually found O'Brien at a dilapidated rooming house. He was short, middle-aged, and pinched-nosed, spitzy, as Hercos called it. His voice, high-pitched and effeminate, and when he refused to talk to them and slammed the door in their faces, Peter said,
Jesus Christ, he the man. He the murderer.
Uh-oh, we found him.
and so when they brought O'Brien in on a technicality that allowed any physician to commit anyone acting, quote, oddly, they
We would not have lasted a fucking second.
No, and this is 1964 Boston standard of odd.
Yeah.
Now, he didn't say the N-word one time today.
They found that he was no more than 130 pounds and about 5'7", exactly like Herco said. He had a scar on his left arm and the thumb on his right hand was deformed. All of these details that Peter had predicted.
Nubby thumb.
They also found a book of yoga figures in which 11 women, the number of women murdered, had been blotted out with black ink.
Yeah.
And in his dresser drawer, they found a half a dozen men's scarves tied together in knots.
Yeah.
Interesting, and I made the yoga joke on the last episode, if you recall that, so now I have a connection as well.
Are you the killer?
No, I'm not ageless. I wasn't in Boston in 1962. I didn't kill the woman that looked at me all odd.
You're not ageless?
No.
And in the same drawer as the yoga drawings, they also found a notepad with sketches of apartments with X's drawn in certain rooms in each one, which happened to correspond with the room some of the victims had been found in. And when they asked him why he did this, he said, we'll get to that in a second. They said, when they asked him why he did this, he said that it was a game that him and his brother played sometimes.
Oh, where did we kill the old lady?
All the old ladies, and where do we need to go next?
Yeah, I love that game.
Yeah.
I think, Boston has a bunch of people who play fun games like that, like the Tarnoff's brothers.
Oh yeah, when they went in there, because they were like, how ironic can we make it that a bunch of people could spend their lives taking care of their bodies, and then we kill them by blowing them up with a bomb?
Oh, that's so funny. And then what do people in Boston love? They love a good crock pot. They love a good pork roast. We'll
make it illegal to own one.
That's right.
And in another connection, this is a weird one. The landlady said he took showers with his shoes on.
Number one, how did she know it? Number two,
that's good number one.
Good number one. Number two, bad idea.
I don't know.
Especially if you got suede. Suede is nearly impossible to fix if you get it wet.
Oh, my
Leather
God.
gets all creaky
Maybe
and
he was
dumb.
wearing those old, like, the aqua feet. Do you remember those?
Oh, yeah.
People used to wear sandals and things like that in
Yeah,
college when they
perverts.
go shower. No,
Perverts
because
used to
everyone's
do that.
coming and dumping on the floor, having sex in random stalls.
It is a
never do
boarding
that.
house. It is a dilapidated boarding house.
Yeah,
It's
so-
very dirty.
Right, so he's got to wear shoes.
He's walking around like, okay, well, I could wear my patent leathers, but that's the wear over to church, and I guess I'll wear my Crocs.
Right.
Ooh, comfy.
If the future's bright, you wear sunglasses at night, but if you really have nothing to look forward to, you wear shoes in the shower.
Hey, everybody around. I don't really notice anybody else wearing shoes or nothing. Guys, why don't you wear shoes? What do you mean you want to just shower in silence?
I think that dude's the Boston Strangler.
I'm not a strangler. You want to see my knot collection? You want to see all the apartments that I've been in and the ones
I
haven't been in yet?
As a man, I feel safe, but as a person who loves his mother, I'm terrified.
That is funny, right?
So the only problem they had with this guy, the
only real problem
they
Right.
had, besides the fact that the only thing that had to go on was the word of an overly excitable Dutch clairvoyant with a cowboy sidekick. all of this evidence
Yeah.
is very circumstantial.
We never did know what Curious George's
The man in the yellow hat.
the man in the yellow hat did for a living.
Yeah, he was the bodyguard to a psychic, and he paid him in lottery numbers. And he kept saying, he's like, "Oof, I'm sorry, I was off this week, but next week is the day."
He said the author of Curious George really missed the true storyline here.
So he was, after 2 days of commitment, that was all they were illegally allowed to commit him for due to odd behavior. O'Brien was set free and walked out of the case forever. Herkos, in a strange twist, he left Boston completely satisfied with the job that he had done.
He didn't finish the job.
Oh, no.
They wouldn't take my choices. I am better as them, and I will go and try and figure out who will win the World Series. Double my money.
That's where all the money's at. Yeah.
So he was 2 days after he left Boston, he was arrested in New York for impersonating an FBI agent when he had allegedly posed as an agent at a gas station in Milwaukee 2 months before.
That is a movie waiting to happen about what that storyline was.
Right.
There is a story to that we need to figure out, and I'm excited about it.
How do you pose as an FBI agent in
You just tell-
1964 in
just tell
Milwaukee,
somebody you're an
Wisconsin?
FBI
I'm an
agent.
FBI agent.